Hi, I'm Marshall Brain, and welcome back to the Time Capsule video series. Today we're going to talk about libraries, and we're going to do that for two reasons. First, the Brain family goes to the library about once a week, so it's an important part of our lives. And second, libraries are incredibly common in the United States in 2010. The American Library Association thinks there's more than 120,000 libraries, and there are estimates that go even higher than that. There are libraries in the community, libraries attached to every elementary school, middle school, high school, libraries in colleges. They are everywhere. To put it in perspective, there's only 170,000 gas stations in the United States, and we'd consider those to be completely ubiquitous. So let's take a look at what's going on inside all of these libraries around the country. Before getting into libraries, though, let's spend just a few seconds talking about books. Books are incredibly common in the United States in 2010. The Brain family owns over 1,000, and you can find bookstores all over the country. You find books in grocery stores, in department stores. They're everywhere. They typically cost about $20, and they have about 300 pages. And as you can see here, they're just paper pages with text and images printed on them, and then they've been bound together into a package with a front and a back cover. Libraries exist to house these fairly heavy and bulky objects so that people can check them out and read them for free. That's right, free. And that's pretty unique in America in 2010. We consider this part of the education system. By making books available to people for free, it's thought that people become more educated. So this is our local branch library here in Wake County, North Carolina. This is called the Eva Perry Library. It's about a 25,000 square foot facility located a couple of miles away from our house. There are 20 libraries like this in Wake County, North Carolina. So let's walk into the library. You go through the sliding doors, and on your right here there are some little computer terminals that you would use to check books out. We'll see the checkout process in a minute. And then you can see it's just shelves and shelves and shelves of books. Thousands and thousands and thousands of books. And you can find, whatever book you're looking for. And if you like it, you put it in a stack and then you can check it out for free. And you get to take it out for maybe 3 weeks. And then you're expected to bring it back. And usually you do that and then you check out some more books. There are a couple specialty areas in the library. This is the kid book section where young children, say toddlers up to first grade or something like that, can come find books that they like and just pick it off the shelf because they like the pictures or the color of the book or whatever, and give it to their parents and check it out and take it home. And there's also this section which is the books on tape or books on CD section. There are books you can check out that have, a person has gone and read through the book and recorded it onto a CD, and you can listen to it in your car or listen to it on your MP3 player or something like that. So how do you find the book you want out of these thousands and thousands of books that are available in a 25,000 square foot facility? Use this thing called a card catalog is kind of the name for it. It used to be paper index cards in drawers, and you'd sort through those, but now it's a computer terminal. So you come up to the terminal, and you type in the name of a book. So I'm going to type in To Kill a Mockingbird, and it's going to search its database and find a record for that book in this library, and then it's going to give you this little number. It's called the Dewey Decimal System. We use it. There's little numbers printed on every book, and it gives you a number, and then you can go find the shelf that book's on, and you can also find the book itself by just going alphabetically or numerically through these numbers and finding where your book should be. So what if you do if your book's not there? Well, that happens a lot in libraries, obviously. So what you can do is you can reserve the book. The next time the book gets checked back in, they'll hold it for you, and you can come back to the library and pick it up. So when you come back, the book will be sitting on this special shelf, and they will have put your name on it and wrapped a rubber band around the book and the little piece of paper with your name on it. You just find your book, pull it off the shelf, and check it out. So you've found your books, you're ready to check them out. On your keychain, you have this little piece of plastic that's your library card. And on the back of the library card is a barcode that identifies you to the system. So you scan that barcode. So here's Lee checking some books out. She first shows the scanner her library card, and then on the back of the books, there's also barcodes. So she just presents each book to the scanner, and it reads the barcode, and it records in the database the fact that she's checked this book out. And this is a pretty informal process, you can see. She's doing it herself, and there's no one checking this or anything like that. It's just sort of on the honor system. Then she hands the books to Johnny, and Johnny turns them over, and he stamps with this little rubber stamp thing the return date onto the book, so you can remember when the book is due back in the library. Now, if you don't return it by the due date, technically they charge you some late fee, like a dime or a quarter a day or something like that. It's a pretty nominal thing. So this is what causes you to return the book back to the library in about 3 weeks. Now, this little rubber stamp certainly has gone out of fashion 200 years from now, but has a little ink pad up at the top. And when it rotates up, it inks the characters, and then when you push it, it flips the characters around and presses them onto the back of the book. So 3 weeks go by, and it's time to bring the books back. You just walk up to the library, and there's this little slot in one of the walls, and you take the books and stick them in the slot, and they get put onto carts, and then from those carts they get reshelved, and there's people whose job it is to just go around and reshelve books that have been returned. These are the carts you can find throughout the library, dozens of them that are full of books ready to be reshelved. Okay, so now you've seen a typical public library that a county in a state in the United States would put together. And I don't think this is in any way unusual. Like I said, there's 20 of these in White County in North Carolina. So now let's go over and look at a university library. This giant edifice, 10 stories tall, is the main library, the D.H. Hill Library at North Carolina State University. This is about, 5 miles away from our house. A big library like this serves two purposes on a university campus. First, obviously, it's full of books and journals. And second, it provides quiet study space. So there's study carrels and tables all throughout the library for people to sit down and study quietly. So we're just going to hop on the elevator right up to a random floor, get off the elevator, and guess what? This building is full of books. Books as far as the eye can see. Shelf after shelf after shelf after shelf of books. And each book has this little number on it that's its ID tag. And, basically the floors are organized sequentially. So you look up your book in the card catalog and, on that little terminal. And then you come to the library, you find the right floor, you find the right shelf, you find your book on the shelf, and you check it out for free to take it home and read it. So that's what libraries look like in America in 2010. Keep in mind there's 120,000 of these things all across the country. They're incredibly popular, incredibly common. I'm sure to you, my grandkids 200 years from now, this looks nuts. I mean, it looks completely antiquated and possibly ridiculous. But this is a system that's been in place for hundreds of years, and it's a system that we use every day, and that is a big service for us. We read a lot more books because we can check them out for free at the library.